It's your boy, Low the Lefty, back. You know what I'm saying? It's been a little bit of a hiatus, a little bit since the COVID thing has hit. Sports has slowed down, but boxing is still going on. Basketball, football, everybody's still going on. You know, that's good for us. We can still be entertained. It's just unfortunate that we all can't really be there physically because everything is going on to enjoy a lot of these great events. But speaking of events, we have some really good events coming up this year. Going into the fall, going into the colder seasons as we go into 2021. And we got Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia. We got Javante Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. We also have Sean Porter against some guy named Formella or something like that. I don't really know who the guy is. He's undefeated. He has 10 knockouts. I believe he has 22 wins. I looked at his resume, didn't see anybody that I recognized. But, Sean Porter can always get a pass. I mean, at this point, Sean Porter has fought everybody, or at least willing to fight everybody. And he's never been dominated. He's always been in a great fight. This may very well be a stay busy fight, but in all respect to any fighter that's getting in the ring, it's kind of hard to call anybody a stay busy fight because it's still a fight. Sean Porter can get in there. We don't know this guy, even though his resume is whatever. We don't know who he fought or whoever it is. This guy may very well be somebody dangerous. And if Sean Porter goes in there treating him like a stay busy fight, then he can get upset. He can get hurt, or we can see something that may raise this guy Formella's stock. But good luck to Sean Porter. I believe he's going to come through. Sean Porter. I look forward to seeing Sean Porter fight at any time. Now, Errol Spence Jr., Danny Swift Garcia, that's a whole different animal. That is another potential fight of the year. But, what fight have you really seen Danny in that was fight of the year? Only thing that makes, this is nothing against Danny. Danny Garcia is a great fighter. Danny Garcia is very calculated. He's very accurate. He is very strategic. He doesn't throw a lot of combinations. He doesn't really waste punches. Danny goes in there looking for his openings, and he throws his shots. And every shot that he throws, he's not always, it's with bad intentions because he's a very heavy-handed fighter. Danny Garcia is also a very underrated boxer. Danny Garcia is a very, very good boxer. The only thing about Danny, which kind of makes his boxing look, it doesn't make it look offset. It's just Danny's not busy enough. But Danny, over his past few fights, have been busy enough. The thing is, the people that he has been busy enough against, and he stopped, it was Adrian Granados. Nothing against Granados, but Granados is typically like a 140-pounder. Danny was much bigger than Adrian Granados. And Danny is pretty much going to be much bigger than most people that he faces at 147. Danny Garcia, to me, has always been a big guy. Even though he came up from 140 himself, he definitely fills out at 147 bigger or better than a lot of people who are actually not natural welterweights. And he shows that with his power. He has the capability of knocking you out. You see what he did to Brandon Rios. You see what he did to Ivan Redkach. You see what he did to Adrian Granados. I mean, even though these are not really, really big names, these are still, contenders. And Danny is wiping them out, showing them that he's still a top dog, that he's still, it's still levels to this game. So, with that being said, he's going up against Errol. He's going up against Errol the Truth Spence Jr. And what makes this fight so dynamic, what makes this fight really way bigger than what it really should be. I mean, I know right now, again, with this COVID pandemic or whatever, buzz is a little bit different. Advertising, marketing, a lot of stuff is a little bit different because we can't actually physically go to these events. So there's a different way that these fights and these events are being marketed. This event, I hope, will be marketed to the highest degree because this is a very, very dangerous fight for both fighters. One, Danny Garcia had been waiting to get his opportunity to not only get his hands on the strap, but also become unified champion once again. As he felt like he never should have lost his strap. He felt like he beat Porter, but he wasn't busy enough, and he lost that fight. He also had a close fight with Keith Thurman. Now with Errol, he had a really, really close fight with Sean Porter. Most people are saying Sean Porter won, Errol won, what have you. At the end of the day, Errol got the nod. The knockdown had a very, very strong effect on the outcome of that fight. But he has been in a car accident since then. It's been a year since he's actually been in the ring. Regardless of how much sparring he was doing, regardless of how much training, regardless of how much running he's doing, there's no tuna fight, there was no stay busy fight, there was none of that. It's straight back in the dog's mouth. And he's getting in there with a killer that has been busy, that has been active, and that has been stopping his opponents. It's crazy. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a great fight. Because if Errol loses, he's losing. He's no longer the unified champ. His stock drops. Danny's the man again, and he will be the unified champ. And now the whole mix will be shaken up at 147. Then we're having a different conversation. Sean Porter, if he gets past his opponent, which I believe he will, then we'll be talking about Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter, Showtime Sean Porter. Or we'll be talking about Danny versus Terrence Crawford, so on and so forth. And there'll be a whole bunch of mix-ups, a whole bunch of gossip, a whole bunch of this and that. And that's the one thing I'm not really liking about boxing. A lot of times is sometimes it can be a little bit of it can be a little drama. It can be a little, prima donnas. A lot of times it's like these Twitter beefs, and this person said that, this person said this, this person got a problem with this. Well, we can fight, we can do this, we can do that, but ain't nobody signing no contracts, nobody sending no contracts, and then they want to get technical and say, well, it's the business side of it. It's not as easy as to say, well, why y'all doing all this talking on Twitter for? You know what I mean? That's the same thing in the streets. Like, what are we doing all this talking for? If we ain't gonna get to it, then why are we doing all this talking? I ain't got time to be going back and forth with you on the internet. You want to smoke or not? That's just my only thing with boxing. But it's going to be great. Then we got Gervonta Tank Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. That's also going to be a very, very interesting fight and a very good fight, because that's a fight, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, that Gervonta Tank Davis, he's supposed to win. He's supposed to win that fight. He's going to be a bigger fighter, southpaw, more slick, more athletic. Leo is long. He's shaking that right hand or that left hand, that jab hand, and he's throwing most of the time 1-2s. You might see him throw an uppercut or a hook every now and then, but most of the time it's straight punches. You're dealing with a bigger southpaw who's slick, who's able to move, who's able to counter, who has power in both hands. They can hurt you with a hook, hurt you with an uppercut. He loves to throw the punches to the body. And when you got somebody who's naturally bigger than you, not only are they're aggressive, and their shots are heavier than yours, and they're throwing body shots, that can have a big impact. Now, I'm not saying that I'm counting Leo out, because Leo is a multi-division champion. He's still a champion. But again, there's weight classes and there's levels, and I expect Gervonta Tank Davis to take care of business. Now, what will be next for him? Yet to be seen, because there's people who are on Tank's level and that are around his size and in his weight class. We got Lomachenko, we got Devin Haney, we got we got a lot in the mix. I mean, even Shakur Stevenson, Shakur Stevenson is not at 135. I believe he moved up to 130. But at the end of the day, we still have more talent out there and more people out there that could possibly present problems for Gervonta Tank Davis. But it's going down. I just really hope that we continue to get these good fights. A lot of fights will be made. A lot of fights we've been hoping, we were looking to see that we can get it done and get it popping. This your boy. It's good to see y'all. It's good to be seen. Low the lefty. Thank you once again for watching The Open Floor Unscripted. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon whenever you want to get notifications when I'm dropping videos. Until then, hold it down. I'll see you in the next round. I'm out.